we must also lead. Standing up for our values around the world, and Ukraine is a test case. This year, its future may well be decided. Valiant Ukrainian warriors have been incredible, successful in pushing back invading Russian forces, retaking 50% of the territory stolen by Russia, opening up a maritime passage in the Black Sea. But the West must not let them down.
This is my video update on this Monday afternoon, January the 15th. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with Germany preparing for war with Russia. So according to the German publication Bild, Russia is going to launch an open attack on NATO after its victory in Ukraine. Now, keep in mind that this information that Bild has obtained is super duper top secret. This is a secret doc that somehow Bild managed to get a look at. And this document is actually a month-by-month outline of what Bild calls a path to conflict with Russia. So let me summarize this month-to-month path to conflict with Russia according to the German publication Bild. So the first step on this path, on this path to conflict with Russia. This is actually very serious. I shouldn't laugh. The first step on this path to conflict with Russia, NATO conflict with Russia, German conflict with Russia, is that Russia will mobilize 200,000 soldiers in 2024. This is an additional 200K soldiers in 2024. Then in the spring of 2024, the Russian military will launch a spring super duper counteroffensive. Not a Ukraine super duper counteroffensive. We're going to see a Russian spring super duper counteroffensive in 2024. And Ukraine is going to lose to Russia because the collective West just did not provide enough weapons to the Ukraine military. Then step number 3. I'm on step number 3 of this path to conflict between NATO and Russia is that Russia will begin attacking the Baltic nations. I'm not talking about a military attack or Bild. Bild is not talking about a military attack. Bild is talking about cyber attacks and the Russian government getting protests going in the Baltic nations, like getting the Russian speakers in the Baltic nations to start protesting the government. Kind of like a series of Maidans in the Baltic nations, but instead of Obama and Biden and the EU running the Maidans, it'll be the Kremlin that's going to run Maidan revolutions in the Baltic nations. And then step number 4 is that Russia is going to start. It's going to start asserting its control in the region via Kaliningrad, and the Russian government is going to start to make a go at taking the Suwalki Gap and connecting Russia proper with Kaliningrad, and that is going to force step number 5. That is going to force Poland and the Baltic nations to report to NATO and to tell NATO that we've got a security problem going on here. We've got cyber attacks hitting us. We've got Maidan, color revolutions in our countries. We've got the Russians making a play at the Suwalki Gap and connecting Russia to Kaliningrad. And they're going to go to NATO and they're going to say that this is not looking good. We need to do something about this. And then Germany is going to commit 30,000 troops to the Baltics and to the Eastern Front, and they're going to say, okay, we're gonna step in, we're gonna step up, and we're going to send a message to the Kremlin and to the Putin. And that is where Bild says, step number 7, Bild says that in 2025, once Germany takes this action and they put 30,000 troops to face off against the Russian military and to stop the Russian escalation, that is when there is an open question, according to Bild. In 2025, what does Russia do? And that's it. That's the open question. We're going to reach 2025, and Russia's going to have to decide, according to Bild, does the Putin back down as Russia faces off against NATO and against the 30,000 German troops, or does Russia decide to go to war with NATO and with Germany? There you have it. That is, according to Bild, the secret document which outlines a path to conflict. And let me put up on the screen the article from Bild, which has this map showing how all of this unfolds. And this is real. This is the real deal, because the map has a lot of stars, red stars and arrows and dotted lines. And this is obviously a real document and a real concern to the government of Olaf Scholz and to the military of Germany. My German is not very good. I don't speak much German, but I did try to read this article from Bild without a translation, and I just started to go through it, and I don't know, something in the document. It read like the title of this German operation to defeat Russia was being called Annalena 360, Operation Defeat the Putin. I'm just joking. That wasn't in the document. I don't think it was in the document. I don't know. Annalena 360 degrees, Operation Defeat the Putin. So yeah, that's Bild. A path to conflict. So, what is going on here? Why this document from Bild claiming that by 2025, Russia's going to be left with the choice to either stand down or declare war on Germany and NATO? Well, it has to do with timing, in my opinion. This is, of course, about money. The hysteria around a possible Russia invasion of the Baltics and of Poland and an attack against NATO and a war with Germany obviously has to do with getting the 61 billion, or the delay in getting 61 billion from the United States to the Elensky regime, and the holdup of getting the 50 billion from the EU to Ukraine. So you stir up a whole bunch of hysteria, and you hope that Speaker Johnson in the U.S. and Ursula von der Crazy will somehow find a way to get the money to the Elensky regime. Come on, Ursula. Bypass Orban and just get that 50 million to Elensky. If you don't get that 50 million to Elensky, well, here's what's going to happen in 2025. Another reason that I believe this article came out is to be timed with Davos. You have a Ukraine delegation in Davos. You have a peace summit in Davos. I'll talk about that in a bit. And Elensky's going to be making a trip to Davos. And Ukraine and Elensky and Davos is also all about money, right? That's why they're going to Davos, is to fundraise. They want to fundraise for Project Ukraine. But this document could also be about projection. Maybe this is the collective West, NATO, Germany, projecting what they would like to do onto Russia. Maybe they're the ones that want to go after Kaliningrad. Maybe they're the ones that want to get color revolutions going in Russia. Maybe they're the ones that want to cyber attack Russia. Maybe they're the ones that in 2025 will actually move towards some sort of conflict with Russia. And they're going to be the ones, NATO, Germany, and the collective West, they're going to be the ones that are going to have to decide whether they stand down when they face off against Russia or go to war with Russia. Maybe this is a type of projection. You know what I mean? Every time the collective West comes up with these articles and these ideas and these fantasies, it's really just the collective West kind of projecting onto Russia what they have planned or what they would like to have planned. You know, in their fantasy world, this is probably what they would like to do to Russia. Get protests going and take over Kaliningrad and then face off against the Putin in 2025. And in their mythical world, the Putin stands down and they emerge victorious. So it could be a type of fantasy projection from the collective West. Anyway, Sunak was in Kiev a couple of days ago, and he signed a bilateral security accord with the Elensky government. Now, this bilateral security accord is saying that should Ukraine be attacked again by Russia, then the UK is committed to protect Ukraine. Now, that's not the interesting part about this bilateral security accord, because it is a bilateral security accord. And the Ukraine Prime Minister, Denis Shmyhal, he pointed out that this is bilateral, which means that not only does the UK come to our aid if Russia attacks us, but, and this is the good part, and this is not a clown world, so this is not a clown world, this is real. If Russia attacks the UK, if and when Russia attacks the UK, then Ukraine is committed to come to the assistance of the United Kingdom. So the UK is now protected by the Ukraine military. A bilateral security accord. Sunak also spoke to the parliament of Ukraine, the Rada, and in his speech, Sunak said that the UK will provide centuries of assistance to Kiev. Not years, not decades, centuries of assistance to Kiev. And Sunak, because he was feeling really good, because he was receiving a very warm welcome from the Ukraine parliament. And why wouldn't he receive a very warm welcome from the Ukraine parliament? Because the UK pays their salaries. But Sunak, he also said that NATO needs Ukraine more than Ukraine needs NATO, which is a line that Sunak's scriptwriters lifted from Nikki Haley when she talks about Israel. When Nikki Haley talks about the U.S.'s relation with Israel, Nikki Haley always says that the United States needs Israel more than Israel needs the United States. So in this speech to the Ukraine parliament, Sunak declared that NATO needs Ukraine more than Ukraine needs NATO, which, I guess is good news, I guess. No more weapons and money then needs to go to Ukraine if NATO needs Ukraine more than Ukraine needs NATO. But he also gave, because Sunak is just not talk, he is also a man of action. That's what makes Sunak so different than other leaders around the world. He's a man of action, and he also gave 2.5 billion pounds to the Elensky regime at a time when the citizens of the UK could really use 2.5 billion to perhaps make their lives better. Sunak opted to give 2.5 billion to the Elensky regime, and he said that the 2.5 billion was going to go to weapons and air defense systems and drones. Lots of drones. Ukraine is going to make millions and millions of drones. And for his speech, as I noted, Sunak received a very warm applause, a standing ovation from the parliament. They had a huge, like a massive UK flag, and they took that out in the Ukraine parliament, and they held it up, and Elensky and Sunak and Yermak and all these guys, they held up the UK flag in the parliament of Ukraine as the parliament members were clapping. And then Sunak, smelling a beautiful odor in the air, a beautiful perfume. Sunak turned to Elensky, and he was overtaken by this amazing odor, this amazing perfume and scent. And he grabbed Elensky and he just started hugging Elensky. And he just would not let Elensky go, because that is the power of Elensky number 5. And then they took photos. They took many photos of Sunak in Kiev. Check out this photo of Sunak, Elensky. I believe Yermak is to one side. That's Prime Minister Shmigal right next to Sunak. And then there's this other really big bouncer looking guy. And that photo, wow, that photo. Sunak and Elensky, they look tiny. They look tiny. And these other guys, Yermak, Shmigal, and that other big dude, they look huge. Like my giant. These guys look gigantic compared to Elensky and Sunak. Wow. And Elensky took a photo of Sunak as well with some other guy. I don't know who this guy is that has his arm around Sunak. Now, I can't confirm this. This could be photoshopped. This could be a fake. But this could also be real. I don't know. So I'm just putting that out there. Maybe this is like a little bit of clown world towards the beginning of my video. But this could be real as well. But I'm just putting it out there because I think it's either interesting, very telling, or pretty good Photoshop work. But the guy that has his arm around Sunak, as Elensky is snapping a pic of the two, has a tattoo which says Bog Niet, which in Russian means there is no God. So once again, I can't confirm this. This could be totally fake. This could be totally photoshopped, but it could also be real. So I don't know. But either way, what is real is that the UK is in a bilateral security accord with Ukraine. So why has the UK entered into a bilateral security accord with Ukraine? And why this trip from Sunak and this speech in the parliament? Well, I think this one is pretty easy to figure out. It is the UK's way of trying to push the 61 billion from the United States and the 50 billion from the EU towards Elensky, trying to push that money towards Elensky. That's what this was all about. We're giving Elensky 2.5 billion. We're signing a security guarantee agreement with Ukraine. The least that you guys should do, Speaker Johnson and Ursula, is give Elensky more money and more weapons. So that is what this is all about. Now, I talked about Davos and how there's a big Ukraine delegation in Davos. I believe Yermak, who many people say is the real power behind the Churchillian figure of Elensky, who used to be Elensky's entertainment lawyer in a previous life. Yermak, he was already in Davos with this delegation, and he said that there's going to be no freeze in the conflict in Ukraine. He said a freeze is unacceptable for Ukraine, but we have Elensky now. He is going to make his way to Davos as well, and they're going to try and raise support and money. You see a theme playing out here? Money, money, money. And they're going to try to raise money in Davos. You didn't think that with all the money that is going to be pouring into Davos over the next couple of days, that Elensky would miss such an opportunity. So he is going to also make his way to Davos. But check out this title from Bloomberg. Let me find it here. Because there was a peace summit that took place before Elensky is going to arrive to Davos. And it's a peace summit with the Ukraine delegation and other people in attendance at Davos. And Bloomberg put out the title, Ukraine Peace Plan Talks in Davos End with No Clear Path Forward. Over 80 countries and groups attend a fourth meeting in the series. Elensky will attend Davos Forum as aid stalled in US and EU. A peace plan summit, a peace plan talk taking place in Davos without Russia. That must be a real serious peace plan summit, peace plan talk that is taking place in Davos. What a bunch of nonsense. So we're going to have some interesting news to report once Elensky makes it to Davos. That I am sure of. So let's now talk about Israel and Gaza. Let's shift gears and talk about Israel and Gaza, what is going on there, because Axios, they are reporting that Biden is fed up with Netanyahu. Biden hates Netanyahu is basically what Axios reported the other day. Axios actually says that the Biden White House feels like Netanyahu continues to give them the middle finger. That is what Axios reported. Axios also revealed that Biden has not spoken to Netanyahu since December 23rd. That is the last time that these two men have spoken to one another. Let me find the Axios article and read you a bit of it. The title of this article is Biden Running Out of Patience with Bibi as Gaza War Hits 100 Days. And further down this article, Axios says that according to U.S. officials that spoke with Axios, and this is a quote, "The situation sucks and we are stuck. The president's patience is running out." That is what a U.S. official told Axios. Quote, "At every juncture, Netanyahu has given Biden the middle finger." Senator Chris Van Holden, Democrat, Maryland, who has been in close contact with U.S. officials about the war, told Axios, "They are pleading with the Netanyahu coalition, but getting slapped in the face over and over again. So Kirby, in a statement he made yesterday, he said that the U.S. is trying. They are desperately trying to get Israel to move towards a low-intensity war, a low-intensity conflict, and reduce the hostilities in Gaza. And it looks like, according to Axios, that Netanyahu just doesn't listen to the Biden White House. He continues to give the Biden White House the middle finger. And the Biden White House is admitting that they're boxed in, they're stuck, and it sucks. Now, why are they stuck? They are stuck, in my opinion, because Biden is losing a crapload of support because of his support for Israel, his blank check to Netanyahu during the beginning of the war has cost Biden a whole ton of support with his Democrat voter base. And we are heading into an election cycle. And the Biden White House, they can't tell Israel to stop the conflict. They can't call for a ceasefire. And if they can't call for a ceasefire or stop in the conflict, their support from a big chunk of their voter base continues to evaporate. And so they're stuck. They're stuck. Basically, what this article in Axios is saying, and what these U.S. officials have told Axios, is that the Biden White House, they want to figure out a way to disassociate from Netanyahu, while at the same time not having to press Israel to stop the conflict in Gaza, not having to say the C word. This is the dilemma that they find themselves in. How do we disassociate with Netanyahu so that the people that are protesting us stop protesting us and stop associating us with the atrocities that Netanyahu is committing in Gaza? But how do we do this without using the C word, without calling for a ceasefire? Because they don't want to call for a ceasefire. This is where they find themselves. So that is what Axios is reporting with regards to the conflict in Israel and in Gaza. And we have a couple of other stories that I can get to before we move on to today's clown world. There's a big farmers' protest that is going to take place, I believe, today or tomorrow. And I don't know, I think it's going to run for the whole week. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like this is going to be a very big farmers' protest in Germany. We're talking huge, massive, gigantic. The photos and the videos that are coming out of Germany looks like this is going to be a really, really big protest, a protest that is going to take place in Germany. And not good news if you're Olaf Scholz. There are already many rumors claiming that Olaf Scholz is going to resign. And this big farmers' protest, I imagine, is going to be one more push towards the resignation of the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and perhaps usher in the new German Chancellor in Defense Minister Pistorius. We also have some interesting news from Nauru, which is that they have switched their policy towards China. And according to CNN, Nauru cuts diplomatic ties with Taiwan in favor of China. So Nauru now recognizes the one China policy. Nauru has severed diplomatic relations with Taiwan and established ties with China, the Pacific Island nation's government said in a statement Monday, in a blow to Taiwan's effort to retain its dwindling number of diplomatic allies. How many countries now, this is according to CNN, how many countries now recognize Taiwan? I think the number is what? 10, 11? I don't know. But as CNN states in their article, that number is dwindling. The support for Taiwan continues to dwindle. And this is right after elections took place in Taiwan, which saw the DPP, the anti-China party, win those elections, and they are going to be governing, but they won those elections as they are losing support inside the country. So I thought that was an interesting story from CNN. And now let's do a I guess this could be a pre-clown world. And it has to do with the energy independence, the oil independence of the collective West, the European Union and the United States. I believe that Jungle Joseph Borrell, he put out a statement sometime back where he took a victory lap claiming that the European Union is now oil free of Russia. They are oil and energy independent of Russia. He was like, we did it. Victory lap. Woohoo. Woohoo. High five. We are independent of Russian oil. And then you have this article from the independent, not Russian media, not TASS, not RT, but the UK Independent. And this article has the title, Europe buying Russian oil via India at record rates in 2023, despite Ukraine war. Woohoo, energy, oil independent from Russia, says Jungle Joseph Borrell. We're just buying oil, refined oil from India, but that oil is Russian, and we're buying it at a whole lot more money. It's a whole lot more expensive. It's Russian oil. India is selling it to us, and we're paying more money. But hey, we're oil independent of the Putin. It's all theater. It's all theater. That's all it is with these leaders in the collective West. The Biden White House as well, they have shown that they have revealed that they purchased Russian oil as well in October and November. So the Biden White House, when they come out and talk about how Russian oil funds Putin's war machine and you're bad country if you buy Russian energy, keep in mind that in October and November, the United States, they imported some of that war machine Russian oil. Let's do a clown world and we can wrap this video up. And this clown world is coming from Bulgaria and their defense minister, Todor Tagarev, who was visiting the United States. I think he still may be in the United States. But as he was visiting the USA, the defense minister of Bulgaria called for adjusting the school program in Bulgaria by removing references to the common historical past with Russia. In his opinion, it is necessary to purge Russia from the textbooks. Facts that can generate appreciation for Russia. That is a quote. First, we must be able to present history in its true sense to the Bulgarian people, because it has been said for generations that Russia is our friend and liberator, and we should be inwardly grateful to her for what she has done, even though in history we have often found ourselves in different sides in various conflicts. Oh yeah, you have found yourselves in different sides in various conflicts in history. That's for sure, Mr. Defense Minister, though I don't know why you want to bring that up. But, if If you wipe out Russia from your history books, aren't you in essence, I mean, I don't know, people watching in Bulgaria, let me know if this is a correct statement. If you wipe out Russia from your history books and your friendship with Russia from the history books, don't you wipe out your country's existence in a way? I don't know. Just saying. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, that is the video, everybody. theduran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. 15% off all t-shirts. Take care.